Okay, we are recording and um, we're talking about easy probability problems. Easy meaning that it's not too difficult for ordinary students to solve these. Different than simple probability. Simple is a mathematical term that means that you only do one action.
And you know what? The funny thing, I've been having in trouble with this ones. I don't know why. It's something that I'm not getting, or I'm something that I'm not picking up. But it's weird because I hadn't have a problems with anything else. It's just this one, and it's easy.
Okay, well, it's easy compared to a difficult probability
Yeah.
problem. I could make up some of those for you. Probability is, boy, it's an animal all in itself. It's a different way of thinking about mathematics. It's something that we try to do all the time without math. You know, what are my chances of making it safely across the street right now? Well, we look at many different factors. Are there any other cars on the road? Is there ice on the road? Is there a traffic light? And so we put all those factors together in our brains and then we make up a decision, oh, it'd be okay. Now with mathematics, we want to put a number on that. Like, oh, I have a 99% chance of making it safely across the street. That gives us a lot more confidence than, it'll probably be okay. But the mathematical techniques that we use, we just have to learn them. And they seem very strange. And after you've used them a while, you'll get used to it. And then they'll seem easy to you too. Okay. So let me bring this worksheet up again. And we'll just talk about a little bit about each problem individually. Okay, we've already talked about the first one before I started recording. The second one, we have an office, 13 full-time workers.
And 12 part-time.
Yeah, and notice that I write stuff down as I'm reading the problem. I don't want to have to try to remember in my head, it was at 13 full or 13 part. And the other thing, when we're doing probability, I know that I need to know the total. So I'm going to add that up before I even start.
25.
Okay. I'm going to choose one worker at random to attend a luncheon. What's the chance that the person will be full-time?
So we're picking one from part-time?
Okay. So we have this whole group of people all together, 25 of them. We're going to close our eyes and pick one of them. And we want to know what's the chance that it was full-time. Well, if there were 25 full-time workers out of 25, that'd be 100% chance. There's no other choices. It's pretty close to half and half here, but just a little bit more full-time workers. So I'm going to expect my percentage to come out to be a little more than 1/2. There's 13 full-time workers that I could choose out of 25 total people.
25 in total 25.
And then if we want to change it into a percent, we can cross multiply this. 13 times 100 divided by 25 comes out to be 52%. There. Okay. Now, I'll tell you a story about one of the other students, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if he wrote this down, he would have said, well, it's more than half. So it's not 25%, it's not 26%, and it's not 48%. The only choice that's more than half is this one right here. So that has to be the correct answer. Now, if they had given you a different list of choices, they had given you 51%, 52%, 53%, 54%. Personally, I wouldn't be able to guess which of those percents this fraction is. So I would have to go ahead and convert it,
And to convert it.
compare my answer. Yeah. Okay, and on the GED test, it's written and designed and calibrated, and a passing score is based on the fact that they're expecting people to be able to look through some of these answers and go, oh, some of those cannot be right,
Yeah.
and then be able to make a good guess. Okay. All right, a bag of blocks. There are 9 red.
And 7.
16.
16.
Okay, first we're going to draw a block and we're not going to replace it. And then we're going to draw a second block. What's the probability of drawing 2 reds? Well, in the first draw, there's 16 blocks in there and 9 of them are red. So on that first draw, we have a 9 out of 16.
16. Mm-hmm.
For the second draw, we kept 1 red out. So now it's going to be 8 reds Okay, yeah, there's 8 reds, 7 blacks. So there's, or blue, or whatever the B is. Okay, so now there's just 15 total in there. So on this second draw, the chances change. It's going to be out of 15, but there's only 8 reds out of 15. And to calculate the overall probability when it's a compound event, so 2 things, you have to multiply the probabilities. And using the calculator, you can just put these fractions in. I hit the fraction key, which is right here, 9/16. Multiply, and you have to get out of the denominator before you multiply. 8/15. And the calculator multiplies the tops, multiplies the bottoms, and then simplifies the fraction to 3/10. Now, none of the answers look like a fraction there. So, Maximo, I know you know what to do to change 3/10 into a decimal. I think you know. What would you tell me to do to this to change it into a decimal? Or do you just look at that and you know which of those decimals it is? So anytime you want to change a fraction into a decimal, you just do what the fraction tells you to do. This line right here, oh, I'm pointing at it and you can't see it on screen. This line right here means divide. It means divide in a fraction. If I do this command, if I take 3 divided by 10, I get 3 divided by 10, I get 0.3.
3.3.
Okay. Now, there's another way on your calculator to change a fraction into a decimal. You can change other weird things that we'll see later on. They'll come up and we'll want to change them into a decimal. So if I have the 3/10 is my answer. To change that into a decimal, I can hit the toggle key.
Okay.
The one that goes back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now it's a decimal.
0.3.
Now I can go back into a fraction. I just keep hitting the key. It's going to go back and forth, back and forth.
I see.
Okay. All right, so it's this one. This question here, I don't know. It's just, it has so much stuff in it, so much numbers. It seems
So
complicated.
many.
Does it seem complicated to you too?
Yeah, it was too many numbers.
Yeah. So, somebody's sitting there watching people drive by and they see all these different speeds. What is the chance that the driver is one who was speeding? Well, let's figure out which ones are speeding. It's just anybody going over 25.
So it'll
This
be
guy's
33,
speeding.
41,
Speed and
and
speed.
32.
Did you count 4 of them
Uh-huh.
speeding? So there's
Yeah.
4 speeders. And then how many total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
8.
There's 8 total. Okay. Okay, if half the people are speeding, 4 out of 8 are speeding, how many your chances of catching a
50%.
speeder? 50%. So just to go back and fill in the steps that I skipped over there, it would be 4 out of 8, and we can change that into a percent by cross multiplying.
100.
400 divided
400.
is 50.
50.
Oh, here we have a drawer. Oh, this is like my drawer, except I don't do scars. Okay, there's 5 blue and 4 red for 9 total. She's going to reach out and just pick a scarf. She's not going to put it back. It's only going to be 8 total after she doesn't put it back. What's the chance of choosing 2 red scarves? Well, she gets a red scarf on her first draw. There'll only be 3 reds left after she's drawn it. So the probability of choosing red the first time is going to be 4 out of 9. And the probability the second time will be 3 out of 8.
Wait.
Yeah. And the calculator. 4 ninths. Oh, you can't see that. Times 3 eighths. And we get 1/6.
And 6.
It's just
1 divided by 6, no?
yeah.
Or
Let's see, because
or we did the percentage.
okay, yeah. So we'll do the percentage.
It's big 100.
100 divided by 6.
It's gonna be 16.
Oh, and we hate it when we get answers like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they don't bother me. Okay, so 16.7. Now, why did we get, because look at what I'm doing. I'm writing the answer down with the wrong problem. Okay.
Good thing you use in pencil.
That's one pencil. Okay, 1/6. Yeah. Okay, 16.666666 with a 7 on the end. Hopefully, you'd pick that one. That's close to that one.
Yeah, I did it random, and how do you call it? And I got the 16.7. So I put the. I mean, because I don't know. That's what they told me when there was 67, 68. It's just go to random 17 or something like that. So if they ask random.
In the GED test, it will specifically tell you how many decimal places to round to.
Okay.
So, all right, here we have a spinner, has 7 equal sections. It has 4 blue, 2 green,
and 1 white.
7 total sections.
7.
It said, okay. What's the chance of spinning green? Well, there's only 2 out of 7.
So be 2 out of 7.
Right.
And we're gonna do the percentage, no?
Right.
200 divided by 7. 2.
Did you get 28.57?
28.57. That'd be the 29%. Huh?
That's pretty close to 29.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Right. So are they kind of seeming familiar now?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes. Yes. No. Now. Yeah. No. Yes.
Okay. Let's.
And now I understand, because it just the thing I was not putting. It says the question, but sometimes, like I say, it's just my second language is English, and it just it gets me in the wrong way. You know,
I know.
the road that I need to take.
Yes, I know. I've had several students over the past few years whose first language was not English. So I
But I got my tutor, and it's helping. That's helping, because I mean, she told me about the vowels and all the stuff. I mean, it's a 27 we have, but it's 42 different sounds.
Oh,
So it's just a lot of information, and it's pretty good.
that is. English is not English is a stupid language. It's any rules, because English isn't just one language. It's a combination of words from many different languages.
You know, the funny thing is, it's just in Mexico. I mean, if you know English, oh my God, you get a really good job. So a lot of the people that are like, oh no, it's a valuable language.
Yes. And in some countries, like in Kenya, for instance, there are so many different local languages.
Yes.
Little group has its own language, and they're quite different from each other. Some of them are similar, but most people have at least some opportunity to learn some English. So English is the common language, even though that's not the first language for most people in that country, but it's the one they use to communicate with each other. It's kind of funny how English got that role. Okay, let's look at this next page. Hopefully this will seem like a breath of fresh air. Okay, so on this one, we're going to want to see trends. And a trend is, you can think of it as a pattern. I'm going to just think of it as a pattern. Okay. So Maximo, is this a new word for you, trend?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. So your assignment, your special homework assignment is to look that thing up in the dictionary and just the dictionary defines it. But for now, we can just think of it as a pattern or a way things seem to be going. If we look at this graph here, without even looking at the titles or anything, just looking at the pattern here, it goes up and it goes down.
And it drops.
Goes up. But overall, if I look at the overall pattern, it's increasing.
Exactly, because it don't drop that many in April. So
right. So if anybody asked me to make a prediction about the future of this graph, I'd say, well, it could go up, it could go down a little bit from time to time, but I would expect it to mostly go up.
Up and up.
We don't know what's going to happen here, but if it asks us for a prediction, we have to base it on what we've seen in the past.
Okay.
So this is digital newspaper subscribers. So newspaper used to always be a piece of paper that was thrown at your house in the morning by the paper boy. And
Yeah.
now most of us read the news on our computer. So it's digital.
I see.
So these are the
What do you think? Is better or?
the digital, my personal opinion. I don't mind reading the news online because the news is something that it's new every day. And if you've ever had a subscription to a newspaper, it's really easy to get stacks and stacks of old newspapers laying around the house.
Yeah.
I don't like that. On the other hand, when I go to read a book, I want it to be a piece of paper that I'm holding in my hands.
Okay.
I don't really like to read it on the computer as much. And I don't know, maybe I could get used to it.
It just, I think, I mean, I don't know, like you say, like the bills, when they send you a bill, they should be digital. I don't think, I don't know, it's just so many paper, so much paper when they send you the bills, and they're getting stock.
Oh, yes, I agree. It just gets, doesn't it? Okay, so let's look at the question here. Which of the following is the best estimate of the number of digital subscribers, the newspaper, blah, blah, blah.
September.
Okay, it wants me to guess about September. Well, September isn't on here. But if it were on here, it would be right next to August. And it looks to me like it's going straight up.
Around 14.
I'd make it just keep going straight up, wouldn't you?
Yep.
And that comes out to 14. And notice here that it's not 14 people, it's 14,000 people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there we go. Best estimate. Now that wasn't too bad.
Nope. Nope.
All right, let's see what else they're going to give us. Okay, these questions are about that graph, so we're going to have to go back and flip back and forth.
Okay.
How many more subscribers were there in February and in January? There's a couple of ways to approach that. We're going to compare February to January. Well, personally, one way we could do it is we could say, January looks like it must be about
1,500.
I don't know, I'd say 18.
18, yeah. It's 18. More.
Or yeah. And oh, look, February is about 1,800 too. So so 1,800 minus 1,800 comes out to be 0. Okay.
True.
One way to do it. Another way to do it is just to look at the graph.
Yep.
I didn't change at all. 0. Right there.
Yep.
Okay. How many did it gain between March and July? Do you know that word? Gain?
Gain, yeah.
Okay.
Like more or
yes.
Like how many? You gain a lot of weight, so you.
Yes, I gain a lot of weight.
Like.
So we're going to go from March to July.
March to July.
Here's March. Here's July.
July is.
I want to look
11:50.
Yeah.
No, it's 12, huh?
So March looks like it's 5.
5.
Yeah. Would you call that 5?
Uh-huh. It is 5.
Okay.
Right in the middle.
And July is
12.
Okay. So we just have to find that difference.
7,000.
About
7.
Right there. Another way we could work this is from the picture. 5. Let's see, each one of these intervals here is 2. So, okay, so here, this is the easy way to do it. Here's 5, here's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so if I start here, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
and
I
7.
can just count it. Okay. What month did the newspaper have a 20% decrease?
Decrease. Mhm.
Well, so
Like April.
yeah, it's April, and it has to be April because that's the only month that it ever decreased.
It dropped.
Yeah, so it's April. That was a really easy question. And if there had been a few places where it went up and down, you'd have to figure out the percent change on each
Yep.
of those times it went down and see if you could find one that was 20. But boy, there's only one decrease. So it has to be
April.
April. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, because it was only January and February.
yeah. Yeah. That's the only month that it decreased. Was April. I think. Yeah, we're gonna, yeah. Look at this one. This is a new graph here. So, movie rental inventory. So, movies that they have on hand. And here's the numbers that are available. So, looks like they have 2 different kinds of movies, DVD movies and Blu-ray movies. And it looks like, gosh, I'm having a hard time with this. It looks like the little squares are the Blu-rays. So these are the Blu-rays. Oh, and I didn't spell that correctly, but that's okay. DVD. Okay, how many Blu-ray titles were in the store's inventory in October?
To me, it looks like 1,300, no?
I like 1,300.
Hmm.
Yeah. Which of the following conclusions about the store's inventory in the coming months can be supported by trends shown on the graphs? Okay, let's just, we're going to have to pick one of these, but let's make a decision before we try to see if they say anything that we notice. Looks to me like pretty consistently they were getting more and more Blu-rays. They're going up. And DVDs are
dropping.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if one looks like that. Number of Blu-ray titles will decrease. Nah. Number of Blu-rays the same. We can't conclude that. Number of DVDs will increase.
Indeed.
Not based on what's seen on the graph. Number of Blu-rays will increase.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one.
Because it's going up. It's going up.
Yeah, it's going up. Now, this is in real life. Let's say that you work in a restaurant.
Okay.
And you know darn well you're going to get a whole bunch of more customers during the summer, during the busy tourist season.
Mm-hmm.
So your customers, number of customers. Here's your graph, number of customers.
Okay.
In May, June, July, August, September.
September.
In May, there's this many. In June, it goes up a little bit, goes up a little more in July, goes up in August. Does that mean it's going to go up in September? No, we know
Nope.
well it's going to drop in September. Okay?
Yep. In October,
It's going to go down below zero.
yeah.
But we know it's going down in September because we already know something about the tourist industry. If
Yep.
we know anything else, and we're just expected to make a prediction on September based on this trend, we'd say, I guess it's going up.
Mhm.
What month was there the greatest difference between the number of DVDs and the number of Blu-rays?
So Blu-ray, it went really well between October and December. And it went up.
Yes, but here's the question.
Mhm.
And I see where you're thinking. So this is probably a language thing. Where's there the greatest difference between the numbers?
Okay.
So we're going to have to, this is telling us difference between means you have to compare DVD to Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. It also says the answer is going to be a month.
Month.
So let's look at the month of January.
January.
This right here is the difference between the DVD and the Blu-rays. It's this distance here.
Yes.
If we look at October, this distance here is the difference.
When we look at December, and okay.
Yeah, December, they're even closer.
Yeah.
So which month has the greatest difference?
January.
Yes, January. Easy to see once you can interpret the English on that question. Right?
I see.
Okay. Well, all right. Any other questions about these?
No.
Okay. Okay, so I guess the next thing I'll do is just tell you what your assignment for today is. You may have already done it. I'm not sure. So you got kind of a special lesson today since it was just you.
Thank you.
Had you not been here, or if you had been here, but you would have been here yesterday also, I would have asked the students to spend most of the time today working the second pretest in your KET.
Okay.
I'm going to show you where that is.
Okay.
I think I can find it. Let me see.
And I'm gonna try to finish this weekend on my assignments for because I went to my test and it says what the test has to solve, and it gave me all the stuff what I have to do, and I'm gonna try to get it all done. My assignments.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's
So
a great goal for you.
I need to get it done.
I can find, okay, so I'm still working on trying to find how to find what I want you to do. Let's see if I can do it now. Basic. We want this thing. Okay, so I'm kind of in the middle of a KET thing here.
Okay.
I think if I choose, I have to get rid of this thing. Dashboard. I think when you're on, oh, and I just, okay, it logged me out here. Okay, so I went to my dashboard and then I picked math.
Okay.
And then there's two pre-tests. One is reasoning with numbers, statistics, and geometry. But
Okay.
the other pre-test is algebraic reasoning.
Okay.
And that's kind of the other half of the topics that we'll have. And so this have you already taken this pre-test?
I did the other one.
Okay, good. So I'm asking all of the students to take this pre-test because next week we're going to switch into this group of lessons and do some algebra for a while.
Okay.
Because we need to have algebra before we're able to do the geometry section.
Okay.
So we're going to go back and forth. And so anyway, this pre-test is your assignment. And it'll be very, very much like the pre-test that you took for reasoning with numbers, statistics, and geometry. Okay?
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me. All right. Oh, yeah. So, oh yeah, that one can wait. That's my phone. But that call can wait. And so, do you need anything else from me today?
That's it, Maestra. Thank you for the help, and we'll see you Monday.
Okay, sounds good. Have a nice weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.